It's another episode of Newsline, your one-stop shop for human interest stories. I am Jennifer Igwe. Thank you for joining us. Now, technological advancement is shaping treatment and surgical procedures all around the world, and Nigeria is not left out. We have stories on remarkable efforts and achievements in healthcare, and I'm sure you'll be excited when you hear about them. Then, despite the campaigns against rape and rapists, some heartless people still perpetrate this heinous crime. But what they fail to understand is that the arm of the law is long enough to fish them out. And taking a cue from the late Chinua Achebe, since rapists have insisted on hitting without failing, the law and society are now more than ever determined to fly without perching in checking their menace. And the NTA will continue to highlight cases because we stand against rape and rapists. It is a mix of the good, outstanding, the bad, and ugly, because on our lineup are also stories that highlight resilience of individuals and unique attributes of various communities, including celebrations to honor Nigerians with checkered lifetime. But first, the news, and Claire Adilabu Abdurazak will take it from Abuja. Hello, Claire.
Indeed, there's need for us to intensify our collaboration against rape and rapists, and that's the only way you two can be a star. Let's get on with the news now. And President Muhammadu Buhari has commiserated with the family and members of the Synagogue Church of All Nations on the passing of their father and founder, Pastor Temitope Balogun, popularly known as TB Joshua. The president notes that the renowned televangelist will be missed by his followers all over the world, not only for his spiritual contributions, but for touching many lives through philanthropic gestures. While consoling with the government and people of Edo State, President Buhari urges Pastor Joshua's followers to take solace in the knowledge that life is not measured and defined by chronological longevity, but by enduring legacies and lives torched positively. In the meantime, mourners continue to swarm the international headquarters of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, Ikoto-Egbe, Lagos, following the death of its founder, Prophet Temitope Joshua. Adeniyi Taiwo was there for us and filed in this report.
I know what I'm saying. He's not dead. Man of God is not dead. I received calls.
The news of the death of popular televangelist and founder, Synagogue Church of All Nations, Prophet Temitope Joshua, filtered in early Sunday morning, leaving many in shock. A statement from his church says TB Joshua, as he is fondly called, died late Saturday evening after a ministration. He was said to have died on his way to a hospital after complaining of being uncomfortable. Following the news of his death, the Ikoto-Egbe International Headquarters of his church was besieged by mourners, especially members of his congregation and residents of the community. Describing his death as painful, some of the mourners say he will be remembered for his brand of Christianity that prioritized charity, sacrificial giving, and miracles.
He has been feeding the needy. He has been giving the widows a very helpful hand.
Very good man. She will bring rice, give us money.
Actually provided 2 transformers in this vicinity here.
His time has already reached. That is what I feel about it.
Born in Arigidi, Akoko in Edo State on June 12, 1963, the late TB Joshua rose to prominence after establishing his church in 1987 and gained international acclaim with branches in other African countries and Latin America. His death came 6 days to his 58th birthday. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
And to other stories now. The National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Monguno, has directed immediate dismantling of illegal security outfits across the country aimed at extorting and harassing members of the public. In a statement, the National Security Advisor cautioned individual, domestic and foreign organizations on the activities of NATFORCE, which claims to monitor the inflow of light and small weapons into the country. The statement says National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, under the Office of the National Security Advisor, is saddled with such mandate and caution not force on further interference. Major General Mungono urged stakeholders to mobilize support against the activities of these illegal outfits as Nigeria is set to implement Article 24 of the ECOWAS Convention on Proliferation of Small Arms and Light Weapons. And the Delta State Police Command has confirmed the attack on the Ashaka Divisional Police Headquarters in Ndokwa East local government area of the state by gunmen on Sunday morning. Our correspondent reports that gunmen numbering about 20 stormed the Ashaka Police Station with improvised explosive devices, IEDs.
A statement by the acting police public relations officer, Bright Edafe, indicates that the armed men, numbering about 20, were said to have stormed Ashaka police station through improvised explosive devices at the station, shot sporadically, and set the police station that was built by the community on fire, and also burned down one patrol vehicle. Though no life was lost and no arm was taken away. However, the command said it will not relent in ensuring that law and order is maintained in the community and the hoodlums arrested and brought to book. In another development, the tactical team of the command has killed 6 armed robbers encountered along Isteluku Umunede Aziz in Aniocha North local government area of the state and recovered 1 AK-47 rifle, 1 pump action gun and 1 AK-47 magazine with 25 live ammunitions during operation in the hideout of suspected armed robbers and kidnappers. Similarly, 4 other criminal suspects were apprehended by the command and 1 locally made Barrett's pistol recovered while on top and search duty along Patani Bayelsa Road. The State Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Ari, has, however, assured Deltans of protection of their lives and property while urging the public to provide police necessary information to help combat crime in the state.
And from Imo State, we hear the report that gun-bearing hoodlums have attempted an attack on the State Police Command headquarters again. A statement by the Police Public Relations Officer, Bala Elkana, confirms that the attack, which took place this Sunday morning, however, suffered a huge defeat. Attempt by the attackers, who came in a white Hummer bus to access the police headquarters through works layout around Alvan Nursery and Primary School, was vehemently repelled. It further indicates that 5 of the hoodlums were killed and 4 AK-47 rifles stolen from the police during recent attacks were also recovered. The PPRO also confirms that 1 officer was critically injured and is presently receiving medical attention. And what's also reaching our newsroom have it that parents and guardians of the children abducted in an Islamia school in Tagina, Niger State, have received words of encouragement. Now, this comes from the outcome of a meeting summoned by some political and traditional rulers of the area. Our correspondent Abdullahi Mohammed tells us more.
The expressions on the faces of these parents and guardians of Tegina school abductees are a fraction of what lingers in their minds with respect to their pains. And apart from freedom for their children, what they need most are soothing words. These came handy at an interface with some of their political and traditional leaders.
We call them here so that we can give hope and also missions to Allah.
Since the negotiation is ongoing, he is pacifying the parent to continue to keep calm, to reduce anxiety and unnecessary tension. And he assured them that very soon things will be normal.
This makes many of them hopeful.
It's really encouraging. This is what we are expecting. And the district head, as a father to all, has demonstrated that.
The abducted children have spent the last 7 days in captivity. In Tegina, Rafi local government area of Niger State, Abdullahi Mohammed, NTA News.
Now, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested 7 persons trying to import into Nigeria and export to the United Kingdom and Italy illicit substances at the Lagos International Airport. A statement released by the Director of Media and Advocacy of the agency, Femi Babafemi, says arrest of the suspects also followed with seizure of 37.3 kg of illicit substances, including cocaine, heroin, cannabis, and skunk, all of which were intercepted and seized in 5 different bids. Chairman of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, commended the Lagos Airport Commander of the NDLEA, Ahmadu Garba, as well as officers and men of the Airport Command for their tenacity and commitment to the mandate of ridding the nation of illicit drugs. Buba Marwa also charged them to remain unrelenting and always watch out for the disingenuous modes of concealment traffickers employ to beat detection. And mixed reactions continue to trail the suspension of Twitter operations in Nigeria, although the federal government has received few knocks on the decision, but there have also been many commendations for taking the bold step. ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson reports on these perspectives.
It all started with a cautionary tweet by the presidency to some instigators of war and secession, but the tweet was removed by Twitter on the grounds of going against its rules and guidelines. Nigerian government didn't buy it, as it went on to suspend indefinitely the operations of the microblogging and social networking service Twitter in Nigeria. The suspension or ban, no doubt, has generated tons of negative and positive reactions from different people, countries and organizations all over the world. In a tweet, @Trishiata says, "Who knew Nigeria will be the front runner in saving the world?" While barely 2 days after deleting the tweet of President Muhammadu Buhari and the complaint by the federal government, Twitter has also deleted a tweet made by Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, had on Friday complained that Nigerians were persistently using the platform for activities that are capable of undermining Nigeria's corporate existence, but Twitter conveniently ignored inciting tweets. Meanwhile, Twitter has also faced restrictions in its operations in China, Iran, North Korea, Egypt and Turkey. Indian social networking company Co announced on Saturday that it will scale operations in Nigeria a day after the country indefinitely suspended Twitter. Although many Nigerian commentators are expressing worries about the impact of the suspension on the rights to freedom of speech and expression, Curtis Adigba is of the opinion that Twitter is not the only means by which Nigerians can exercise the right to freedom of speech and expression, noting that Twitter is discriminatory and biased in her operations and lacks clearly defined policy and execution on what is acceptable and not. As more and more people align with the federal government in its stance on the matter, the government says while it is already battling terrorists, bandits, kidnappers and other criminals with modest success, it cannot afford or allow another insurrection being fueled and sustained by toxic and incendiary tweets after the NSAS protests, which Twitter played an outsized role in trafficking lies, misinformation and disinformation, maintaining that it has a duty to protect the country against physical and virtual invaders. A tweet started the whole saga, and hopefully another will end it in the long run. At the moment, though, the Nigerian government and Twitter are speaking in conciliatory tones, which are fanning the embers of a common ground for a possible resumption of Twitter's operations in Nigeria, in compliance with extant rules in the country. But until that happens, other social media platforms may just be their destination of choice for the bed icon app lovers. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
And in Oyo State, Governor Sheyi Makinde says he's been briefed on the attack in Igongon, Ibarapa local government area of the state in the early hours of Sunday. Now, the governor calls for calm over the invasion by suspected gunmen. Now, the peace of Igongon town in Urea State was disrupted early this morning when bandits invaded and attacked the people. Now, several buildings, including the palace of the traditional ruler of the town, cars and filling stations were razed by the gunmen. About 20 people were also reported killed. Now, following the present security challenges in Imo State, church leaders are appealing to aggrieved parties to allow peace prevail in order to achieve meaningful development. Now, the Prelate Methodist Church, Nigeria, Samuel Uche, made this known to journalists at the end of a closed-door meeting with Governor Hope Uzodinma in Government House, Owerri. Bright Ibuchua reports.
The leaders of the Christian faith in Imo State are the ESCO Chambers, Government House, Owerri, to dialogue with Governor Hope Uzodinma with a view to finding lasting solutions to the security challenges being faced in the state. Worried by the rate of killings and violence across the state, the Prelate Methodist Church in Nigeria, Samuel Uche, who briefed journalists at the end of a closed-door meeting which lasted over an hour, stressed the need for reconciliation in order to restore peace in the state.
Everybody that is offended should sheath his or her sword. Let us find peace first. And nobody should allow himself or herself to be hired as unknown gunmen or bandits or whatever to destroy either federal government property or any property. It does not do us any good. Trouble is an wind that does not blow anybody good. So we must work for peace. We must work for synergy. We must work for industry. We must work for promotion of godly love in our state, Imo State. The
Christian leaders also call on all stakeholders to align with the government in the effort to develop the state. In Owerri, Bright Ibuchua, NTA News.
And Nigeria's attainment of self-sufficiency in urea production will not only boost agricultural produce, but earn the country more than $1.2 billion annually. Now, this feat, Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele says was achieved on the basis of federal government's Ease of Doing Business initiative and intervention of the Bankers Committee. Abolade Salami tells us more.
One major sector that could drive economic growth and financial stability was neglected for crude oil. The much injury this caused to the economy still lingers. To this end, the federal government, as a matter of urgency, introduced policies that would encourage diversification and growth of the agricultural sector. The Central Bank of Nigeria, without wasting much time, got involved in the funding of sourcing for high-yield seedlings while strengthening its collaboration with Lake Chad Basin Authority and other research institutes involved in research to improve the production of seedlings for farmers in the country.
We have close to, in Nigeria now, about 5 million metric tons capacity of urea. Nigeria now ranks amongst the leading, if not the leader, in the production of urea in the world. This, for me, is a story that I said earlier, no one would have believed would happen in Nigeria.
While the federal government effort at repositioning the critical sector for economic gains intensifies, stakeholders say they are not leaving anything to chance towards developing the value chain.
Alone, just this 3 million tons of urea, you are talking about bringing in over $1.2 billion into the country in terms of foreign exchange. And they are projecting that urea, before end of this year, is going to get from $420 to about $550 per ton. So if that's the case, can you imagine if Nigeria was sort of to be importing urea?
Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele said the yield for rice or paddy has risen to about 8 to 10 tons per hectare, as against the 1.5 metric tons yield per hectare 5 years ago. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
And the French ambassador to Nigeria, Jerome Pasquer, has described the first museum in Nigeria, the Esie National Museum in Esie, Irepodon local government area of Kwara State as a world-class monument that has the potential of boosting tourism in the state. Raliat Ibrahim reports.
The curator of the National Museum, Elizabeth Omawumi, gave the French ambassador to Nigeria and Governor Abdurrahman Abdrazak a tour around the gallery, which is filled with archaeological and indigenous artworks. After the tour of the monument, which was established by the federal government of Nigeria in 1945, Ambassador Jerome Pasquet said his visit will help put the museum on the global map.
It's really a worldwide class museum, and it deserves to be much, much more well-known in the future. So I shall try to inform many people from France and to advise them if they can to come here to see this museum.
Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdrazak restated his administration's determination to partner with relevant government agencies to make National Museum Esie a world-class tourist center.
What we have done is to facilitate and construct a new road here to attract people here, and we'll be working with the Ministry, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, to make sure the right infrastructure is put in place and the facilities upgraded.
During the visit to the Esie of Esie, Oba Yakubu Babalola, Ambassador Pasquet was honored by the monarch with the chieftaincy title of Esiewumi of Esie Kingdom. Governor Abdrazak used the opportunity of the visit to the axis to commission a 3-kilometer asphalt road that leads to the National Museum in Esie and a 700-meter Nitel Okerimi road. Raliat Ibrahim, NTA News.
All right, now Nigerian and female wrestlers are set to do the nation proud again. 4 of them are already Tokyo bound for the Olympics. And Tamara Ibiwe is right here in the studio with us. Tamara, we are hopeful, aren't we?
Of course, we are hopeful because all the wrestlers representing Nigeria are all African champions. Welcome to Sports Updates. I am Tamara Ibiwe. We begin with football, where by International 2-1 on Sunday in one of the Week 25 matches of the Nigeria Professional Football League. Sunshine Stars lost 2-1 to Warri Wolves, while Wiki Tourists and Aqua United played a 2-2 draw. Kwara United got 3 goals and 3 points at home against Jigawa Golden Stars. Away from football now to wrestling, 5 Tokyo Olympics-bound Nigerian wrestlers will depart the country on Monday, June 7, 2021, for the Poland Open Ranking Series tournament in Warsaw from June 8 to 13. The wrestlers who have been at the national camp in Yenegua, Bayelsa State are vying to garner ranking points at the world level and also use the tournament to prepare for the Tokyo Games.
By just developing, trying to improve on what they have built on over the years. So, and I think with that, we're good to go.
Working on our strength level, conditioning ourselves, you know, all those things that we needed to put into wrestling has really been done with.
Staying with Tokyo, with 46 days to the commencement of the Tokyo Games, the cloud is becoming clearer, and for Team Nigeria with preparation in top gear. Athletes like Elizabeth Ayanacho, Toby Amuson, Blessing Okagbare Igotegwono, Ese Brume are putting up impressive performances in their various events. Ayanacho was the star performer in Dakar, Senegal, as she settled for silver at the 2021 African Taekwondo Championships after narrowly losing to world champion and Olympic medalist Ruth Gagbi of Côte d'Ivoire 8-10 in the women's minus 67 kilograms to keep hope of a medal win alive at the Tokyo Games. And that's Sports Update. Claire, take it from here.
Thank you, Tamara. And the death has been announced of Pa Bartholomew Urea Okafor of Umokoro Umariam in Obo, Imo State. He was aged 104. Funeral arrangements as follows: Friday, June 11, vigil mass at his residence in Umokoro Umariam, Obo. Saturday, June 12, body leaves Madonna Mortuary for lying in state at his residence. Interment follows at his compound after Requiem Mass at Christ the King Catholic Church, Umokoro Umariam in Obo. He is survived by 6 children, 21 grandchildren, and many relations. Among them, Sir Desmond Okafor and Assumpta Onwebulem. Manager News, NTA Headquarters, Abuja. Sir Desmond Okafor is announcing for the family. All right, let's take a quick check on the weather forecast for the rest of the country for Monday.
Hi there. In the early hours of Monday, parts of Kebbi, Niger, and Kwara should wake up to an exiting system that should keep those areas busy with thunderstorms. We equally expect morning rains over Lagos, Bayelsa, Delta, and rivers. While elsewhere within the country, we'll be fine in mostly cloudy conditions. For the afternoon, potential for thunderstorms over the northern cities looks promising, with substantial amount of rainfall expected over the north. We equally expect a few thunderstorms over the central as well as the southern parts of the country. It looks like a wet Monday, so you can brace up for it. I'll see you again. I am Akemi Samara. Thanks for watching.
And that's the news from Abuja. Jennifer Igwe will be right back after the commercials. But don't forget, you can be a star by simply connecting with the NTA in the fight against rape and rapists.